nothing but Star Wars. Give me the Star Wars. Don't let them end.
And the kinks keep coming as we are on another episode of Star Warantine.
That's right. We are sidetracking just for a moment before we get into the sequel trilogy. And we're going to check out what happened between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens in a little-known Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian.
Yeah, a little indie project.
You guys are full of shit.
Yeah, this took much of the streaming world by storm when this came out.
Oh, yeah.
November 12th of last year, 2019. Had a budget total of $100 million, so it took about $10 million per episode to make this.
Yeah, indie.
Rotten Tomatoes still has this at 93%, IMDb 8.7 out of 10, but Metacritic 70.
Wow.
It's got 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got 70?
70 there.
Got 70 there.
This was almost an instant hit with people once it came out,
Oh, yeah.
and every single episode was memeable immediately. You could not escape those on the internet wherever you went.
More specifically, Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda
Oh my god.
was almost a meme troll at that point
Yeah.
in time. Has since maybe fallen off a little bit, but that Mandalorian Season 2 is coming up pretty soon, so
It's
we'll
coming
see.
up
Is it
quick.
really?
Fairly quickly, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's still this year.
Yeah,
it's coming
yeah,
out.
they're still trying to aim for it being this year.
But yeah, so what happened in at least what we've seen
From the first two episodes of The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian?
Hot Take Havens.
Oh boy. Okay, so this guy that looks like Boba Fett
Yeah.
is a bounty hunter, and he is out collecting people, collecting bounties, and freezing them. And he has this ultimate one that he has to go collect, and that's where he finds our Baby Yoda. I have spoken.
Very well done. So, what did you think of the tone of the show compared to what the movies we've seen so far?
So, as you know, I have made a note that I actually really loved the first impressions of this.
Okay.
So, first
Yeah.
episode, first impressions.
Yeah.
First off, the CGI looked great compared to what we've been watching from 1979 and 1981.
And
There's
it's super fun that they like combine like CGI and puppetry.
oh
too.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There's actually not a ton of CGI in this. Some of
Really?
the ships are,
Yeah.
but all of the backgrounds in this that you would assume are maybe shot on location or CG are not. They are actually an LED projection behind him, and it's all shot practically with him on a stage. Like, I just found that out.
Jesus.
Wow.
Like, it's a huge rig that even when they move the camera, the image will move so it never looks weird. But, like, if you watch the Corridor Digital channel, they went and visited this set. And, like, when he's down in the, like, the little cave areas in the second episode,
Yeah.
all of that's in front of an LED screen.
What the
Wow.
fuck?
Yeah, it's only got little practical, like, little stones that he can interact with, like, right there. But all of it behind him, all LED screen.
Because I know Disney has like that. They're doing like that behind the scenes like show of The Mandalorian. That makes me really want to watch that now.
Yeah. So far, I think this is the only show that ever has used it because it's new tech or whatever.
That's awesome.
But it can be done just like that, and it's ready to go instead of having to spend, like, weeks CGing something.
That is crazy.
And if they wanted to, they can adjust it on the go. So if they want, like, a little cliffside to look different, they just go in, because it's all attached to, like, a laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll just take it and, like, click and drag and expand the cliffside so it's bigger
what the
in live.
fuck?
Like,
wow.
I know. And it's seamless. But anyway,
My jaw's on the floor.
and then a ton of, like, I mean, there's some kind of janky CGI creatures in this, like the blurgs that they ride later on, like the big two-legged,
Oh yes.
Yeah.
like tadpole-looking
Yeah, the
monsters.
weird, the tadpole T-Rexes.
Yeah, like they're a little bit more janky if you're looking at them like from far away, but otherwise, almost everything else is practical in this.
Yeah, like Nick Nolte Troll. This is the first
Yeah.
time that I've watched. Like, I think when we did the show, like as a whole, when we reviewed it on here, I watched most of it on my phone because I had to like work around the fact that Molly lives with me and she wasn't a big fan of watching it.
Yeah.
So I actually watched these on like a big screen TV this time, and like he looked really good, like on a huge screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Rewind. Nick Nolte Troll.
Nick Nolte voices the guy that
I am spoken.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's Nick
That's
Nolte.
Nick Nolte's voice?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. He's the Monopoly guy. I have spoken looks like the Monopoly guy.
Absolutely, he does not.
No! Go back and watch. I have it right
He
here.
looks like he's more of a reject from Planet of the Apes.
Monopoly guy.
I don't
have
care
spoken.
what you have written on that paper.
Yeah.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
No, he is the Monopoly guy.
Put out a poll right now. Is Nick Nolte in The Mandalorian Monopoly Man-esque, yes or no?
Do it. Put it on right now. Because he is, and we all know it. Now, you told me... Well, first off, I'll finish answering your
Okay.
question. I love the humor. When they go to, like, the canteen at the bar, like...
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's such a different humor than what we just saw, like, in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing. Like, it's
Yeah.
super fun to watch. It hooked me in right away.
Yeah.
Now, you asked me to find Horatio Sands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Is he the blue guy?
He's the blue
Yeah.
guy.
Okay. I wasn't sure, but I was like, I kind of think it might be him. I love the blue guy.
Also, Brian Posehn is the guy that rides the speeder,
Okay.
who is the 3 South guy.
First note, dude from 3 South, the driver? I
So-
love it.
For people that don't know, Hot Take Haven was obsessed with this old MTV show called 3 South
Oh my God. you
that
gotta
Brian
check it out.
Posehn did all the voices for. And
What's a butt for? I don't know. For pooping.
God.
that's the kind of humor you can find in 3 South, everybody.
3 South. Go check it out.
I love that that's the only thing you know Brian Posehn from is 3 South.
It's my favorite.
Speaking of revamped MTV shows, you see that they're also revamping Clone High? Do you
The
remember
hell
that?
is Clone High?
You gotta be fucking kidding me. I know you
Not
know
3
Clone
South,
High.
Troy.
Anyway, whatever.
More seasons of 3 South.
That's what the people want.
But yeah, I would agree that like the opening of this, I really liked the tone that it set.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's gonna be fun and playful a little bit, but I'm also gonna cut a guy in half of the door.
Yeah. I love like the whole first mission he does is just kind of like a crash course of what the show's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like if they would have dove right into like the main story, it would have been like, oh, what's this really going to be
What are we doing here?
altogether?
Yeah.
But with this, it's like here's like one really fast mission he can do, so he can show you like all the levels they're willing to go to.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not a tone that we've kind of seen yet. Like maybe it's kind of like Rogue One, I guess, if we're comparing it to any movie that we've already seen.
Yeah.
Just in tone, because it's a little bit more heavier than tone, I think, than the original trilogy. A bit, maybe not so far off.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more like a little heavier than the prequels.
Yeah.
I don't know, prequels are all over the place, but
Yeah.
but I love like the Western aesthetic of this. Like,
Yeah.
he feels like a cowboy,
Yeah.
which I really like.
Like instead of being the man with no name, he's like the man with no face.
The Mandalorian.
Ooh.
I don't know how crazy I am about his voice.
Okay.
His voice throws me off. Every time he talks, like, I don't know. I want it to be, like, more gruff or more...
Okay.
And that's a very, like, minute thing to pick on.
I
Yeah.
can see that though.
But it just throws me off every time. Because I'm like, oh, that's how you talk? That's your voice? Okay.
Yeah, I like Pedro Pascal though in this.
I like it more than the voices that they changed in the subsequent like remasters of the movies for
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
To make him like more the guy that plays
did Jango Fett?
Jango Fett.
Yeah, because before, like you wouldn't have known Cole because you've only seen the remastered one so far. But he used to have a different voice,
Yeah.
which kind of sounded a little bit more gruff.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to the guy who played Jango Fett because he's supposed to be a clone in the remasters or whatever. So we went and redubbed all of his lines over.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Tell me more about Nick Nolte as a Monopoly man. Hold on. Now I've only watched up to episode 2.
Yeah.
Do we see him anymore?
Yeah, he comes
Yeah,
back.
He does.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
see him
Okay.
again.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because he just intrigues me. Like, he is a weird character.
Yeah, he's just like a weird farmer on this planet.
Yeah.
That just farms a bunch of weird T-Rex tadpoles.
Blurgs.
Oh, weird. I was a big fan of the shootout with the droid, the droid bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
IG-11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
Voiced by Taika Waititi.
Who is that?
He directed Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay, all right. I
Did
like
you
that
ever see
movie.
What We Do in the Shadows, the movie?
No, but I've heard that I need to.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
is in that movie as well
Yeah.
with Jermaine Clement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite people in Hollywood right now. Is
Yeah.
Taika
Really?
Waititi, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he also directs an
weird.
episode, I think the last episode of
Yep.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah. But no,
Um,
I love that droid that he plays where he just spends all. Should I self-destruct now? No, don't self-destruct.
No!
Yeah.
I also love, too, because you see those kind of droids, like, kind of scattered throughout, like, Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, those look like the clunkiest fucking things ever.
Yeah.
And in this, he's just cleaning house.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
dangerous as shit.
Yeah, he pulls everything out.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like he's killing people the same way like an 80s printer prints things.
That's a
It's
very
like,
odd analogy.
like he's just
Oh,
like
oh,
always
yeah,
like
yeah.
very mechanical, like always
Yeah.
going in different segments and shit.
It works that he's just like
Okay.
a tube that can spin
Yeah.
multiple parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even when he's like talking to the Mandalorian, like he has to like reposition himself so that he can actually walk properly towards him because he was like spinning in so many different circles, killing people.
Yeah. It's good.
So I had a question about this in the original trilogy too, and it got brought up again in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Episode 2, we see, I think they're called the Jawas?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Sand People?
Yeah.
Okay. What is their vehicle? What is their mode of transportation?
Yeah, this is like the first time they actually kind of like dive into that because you don't really see the inside of it that much in like the original trilogy.
I don't think you see
This
the inside
time
of
you
it
Kind
at
of
all.
see it in,
Well, you see it a little bit in
in A
like,
New Hope.
You see a little bit of it like when C-3PO and R2-D2 get picked up, but you never really see like the cockpit of it.
Yeah.
This time I forgot that they actually have like a scene where like the Mandalorian sits in the cockpit of their fucking tank and it's so fucking small. Actually like that, like he's like scrunched over, like riding with them to go get that fucking egg.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I always think, too, that, like, they have this big fucking tank, right?
Yeah.
And then they come out and there's these, like, little tiny little people. And there's gotta be, like, it's like a double-decker bus RV for them,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, it's just an insane
be, like,
size thing.
yeah,
for
There's
these
like
tiny
50 of those motherfuckers could fit in that goddamn thing.
No, they open up the windows like they're saying goodnight on the farm or something. Like, Jesus Christ.
Just yelling goodnight John Boy at the fucking Mandalorian.
I love that scene where he's just like chucking them out of that thing. And they're
Oh
just
yeah, just grabs him by the head and fucking drags him out. And then he gets there with a fucking Nick Nolte troll, and he's like, "They don't like you." He's like, "Well, I did disintegrate a couple of them."
What do you guys think about Baby Yoda? Because I love Baby Yoda, but it's just because he's so damn cute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'll become, if you continue on with the show, I
Oh
think
my
you'll become
God.
an even bigger fan of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
There's an ongoing gag with him where he keeps unscrewing like a round part to like one of like the joysticks on his dashboard, it's like an ongoing thing. Like he always just fucking unscrews it and plays with it, and then he has to keep taking it from him and putting it back on.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
like
awesome.
that's such a fucking little kid thing to do, and I love you even more for it.
Yeah, because I do love, like, how the Mandalorian is this badass, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, he starts taking care of Baby Yoda, and, like, Baby Yoda falls out of his little, like, floating crib, his bassinet, and then the Mandalorian's like, "Now get back in there." Throws him right back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that too. I love when he actually interacts with them because it's just like so noticeably like a stuffed animal. Sometimes where it's just like this like little kind of CG thing and he's like moving around and like trying to use the force on him and he just picks him up and he's like this like stiff little stuffed puppet.
It's like the rubber baby from fucking American Sniper.
But like the practical effects on that, like I don't care that it looks like that. It's tactile, you know. It's as like you can actually reach out and touch it.
Yeah.
If it was like a CG thing that picked up and it was kind of like lifeless,
Oh yeah, and you're just like seeing
it'd be
like
so much more worse.
Yeah, you can like just like seeing like his hands just being like, what do I do? Do I just do how far? Say
Yeah.
when? Just like
Yeah.
holding his arm.
Yeah.
But with this, like you can actually see him picking something up and putting it back in the fucking floating.
That egg.
Yeah, the floating egg crib.
So I will say that I really enjoyed episode 1.
Okay.
Like, really loved it.
Yeah.
Started right in on episode 2. And I got really freaking bored
Really?
in episode 2 during the whole Jawa scene.
Okay.
Okay.
It got so slow, and I'm trying to think if I watched this after Hamilton. Like, maybe I was already like, oh my god, I need to move my ass. Maybe not, though. I can't quite remember. But during episode 2, I was like, ooh, I'm kind of wavering on this.
Okay. I can kind of see that because
Yeah.
at this point now he actually has Baby Yoda and he's slowing down a little bit. Like I do like when he is fighting against the Jawas. Like it's kind of like an Indiana Jones type of feel to me
Yeah.
a little bit.
That whole, almost all of episode 2 is like an Indiana Jones feel.
And I like that the fact that like the Jawas are like a credible threat against him because you spend the whole first episode being like, what a fucking badass.
Yeah.
And then the fucking main things that are his foil in the second episode are like the things that you like shit all over from the prequel. Like, these little tiny fuckheads are
Yeah.
like keeping you at bay, and now
Right.
you're like forced to go get their breakfast.
Get that nasty hairy egg. Then he also gets his ass whooped there too by this big
Yeah.
space rhino.
Oh, he gets killed there almost.
But yeah, but I do like that he is fallible in this, and he's not just this unstoppable monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of a deal. Because that plays, I mean, down the line where he's not like invincible, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah. And I think like doing these 2 episodes back to back was really good to try and give you a feel of what the whole show's like because like I don't know, I like the whole show kind of plays it like a video game where like there's certain episodes where you're following the main story of him and Baby Yoda and like what this whole thing is going to be with like is he going to turn him into this guy or is he not going to?
Yeah.
And then there's some episodes where it's like, hey man, I'm a bounty hunter. I got to
Make some money.
Yeah, I got to make some money. So then it's like there's some episodes where it's like he just goes on like a random mission to make money as a bounty hunter.
Okay.
So it's like it kind of goes back and forth between those where it's like some episodes are like the main story and some episodes are like a side mission.
Okay.
So I don't know, it's kind of fun in that way where you don't feel like you have to completely follow a story over the span of this entire like series. It's like there's some times where it's like, hey, I'm gonna go capture this prisoner, or these bounty hunters just jumped me. Now I got to figure out what to do.
Now, episode 1 kept me hooked when we saw You Know Who. Go ahead, guys.
Vernon Herzog.
You know it. Old Vernon Herzog himself.
Vernon Herzog.
I did not know this guy was in here. I have no idea who he is. I don't know what he's about.
Yeah.
But when he talked, I was glued to the TV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I could
for
not,
sure.
like, I almost wanted to rewind and listen to his dialogue again. Because I was like, is he really talking like that?
That's his real voice. Like, he's
real
not even
voice.
putting on an act. He's just
Oh my
like, that's the way he
God.
talks.
One of my favorite Parks and Rec episodes is where fucking Andy and fuck, what's her name?
He's on Parks and Rec.
There's one episode where he's on Parks and Rec where Andy and goddamn it, what's her name?
April.
Andy and April are trying to buy a house, and he owns a house that used to be an old insane asylum, and he just keeps describing. She was like, "Yes, there is a stairway that leads to nowhere." He's just make him just say dumb shit with his voice,
Oh
and it's
my
like that's the
God.
whole scene. There's like, I really would like to keep the house, but I'm planning on moving to Disney World.
Now, I saw the end of episode 2 when it finished that the preview screen for episode 3 had him on it.
Oh yeah,
And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, sweet. We're
Yeah,
going to see
he
him
comes
again.
back a few
yeah,
times.
because episode 3 is where like you figure out what he plans on doing with Baby Yoda.
Nice.
So it's like, yeah, so that's why I figured like 1 and 2 would be good, because then you get to the kind of the cliffhanger of like you want to know what happens to Baby Yoda, so they go back into like the main story.
Okay.
But then like the second episode's like this side story, kind of like what they do throughout the series.
How many episodes in total for The Mandalorian?
10, maybe?
Yeah, 8 or
Maybe-
10.
Maybe not even 10.
Okay.
But yeah.
And it all takes place between Return of the Jedi and then
Yep.
episode
Yeah.
7.
And,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it adds no real anything against the plot of either one of them. It just happens kind of in the middle here.
You don't
somewhere.
really, they don't really like kind of like give you the story of like this is why episode 7's like this. It's just you're following a guy that's kind of navigating through like a world where there's really no government because the Empire's gone.
Okay.
And the Rebel Alliance is still kind of small, so they can't really like establish a Congress to really keep things intact. So it's like I almost kind of like it in that sense too, where it was like maybe the Empire should have stuck around because like
Yeah.
shit's kind of fucked up right now. Where
Yeah.
like there's no real currency. People are kind of doing willy nilly to try and survive. There's no real government to try and keep people in order.
It's like a Wild West almost. It
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
it a good space western.
Yeah, so it's really cool in that sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say for, like, watching Rogue One, which everybody that listens to this podcast knows I hate it, where that is kind of like all new characters, new story.
Yeah.
This is kind of along the same, even though it's
Yeah.
a series.
Yeah, I was really curious on what you would think about, because there's really no characters that you can connect to from the original Star Wars trilogy.
No.
So what did
This-
you think of? What did you think of the characters in this?
I really like them.
Really?
They pulled me in right away. With like I was saying, the humor, the story itself of the bounty hunter. Like I think that just intrigued me more
Yeah.
than the story of Rogue One,
Yeah.
which couldn't even tell you what it was because I hated it. But that story just pulled me in, and it kept me all throughout episode 1. I said episode 2 lost a little bit of steam, but when he started fighting that weird monster thing that was holding that hairy egg,
Yeah.
that kind of pulled me in. Then they had the whole montage of them fixing the ship.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool, but yeah, I like the characters so far.
Mm-hmm.
Monopoly guy too.
There.
I have spoken.
If you are to finish the rest of the series, it does have like a little bit of ebbs and flows, like. But I would say that on the whole, I like the series quite a bit. I was trying to go back and see what we graded it before, but
Yes. Preparation H does feel good on the whole.
But I can't find it where we graded it before.
So you guys have already reviewed The Mandalorian?
Yeah, we reviewed the whole
I think
thing.
we did like a side. Yeah, we did like a side episode on it. But no, it's. I think it's fun for what it is, and I love stories about Star Wars that don't focus on like the main plot of Star Wars, because I just love stories that flush out this entire universe altogether.
Yeah, like this is happening over here.
And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of where I'm falling too, because I always say, like, when we see the weird characters in the main movies,
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, I'd like to know where they go after this.
Yeah.
And this is kind of along those lines.
You want to know if that guy's, what did he say, evacuated and since before Life Day or whatever he was trying to say.
No, I want to see a movie with that green floating head was it a frog? I think that was singing in solo.
Oh
God,
no!
I can barely remember this fucking.
Well-
you keep bringing up this green floating head.
Get with the program. That's what I want to see. Listen to me, George. Okay.
But no, I love these like side stories they do because when they do them, anytime like a semblance of the Force is used, people what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
Because if we're so used to just like seeing like the Force in all like these like Skywalker saga type things, so it's almost refreshing to go into a story where people are like, something was floating. I don't know what the fuck that was.
It's
Yeah.
got a wizard over here.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, because like I think. Did you bring it up or someone brought it up where it was like, how does Han Solo not know that the Force exists?
Mm.
And then you're like, well, shit, like, fucking no one knows the Force exists. Like, they do, like, when they do these side stories and people are, like, really blown away by the fact that something happened they really can't explain. And it's like, yeah, it's like, the Force is a very rare thing.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of whether or not you come in contact with someone that actually uses it. So, yeah, especially with, like, this where, like, him and fucking Nick Nolte Troll are like, so what the fuck was that? And he's like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I would say I went in to The Mandalorian with really high hopes
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
because I have heard a lot about it
Yeah.
just because it's so new
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
it was like the first Disney Plus thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I remember turning on Disney Plus the first day I had it and there's The Mandalorian.
Yeah, yep.
And
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I finally get to watch it. So I was pretty excited going into it. Lost a little bit of steam.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't hold up
Yeah.
To your
to
high
that high
expectation.
expectation that I
can
had.
see that.
Yeah.
But the real question is, are you going to give it, like, a couple more episodes?
So that goes into my grading. Are we
Yeah.
grading this?
Sure.
Are we?
Sure. Go
Okay,
for it.
all right.
Yeah.
So, I said I'm just getting started. I could see myself. Absolutely, I'm going to try again. Like I'm
All right.
going to go on to episode 3.
Okay.
Because I got to see old Vernon Herzer, right? So I'm going to move on.
Vernon Herzog.
Vernon Herzer. So I'm going to go on to episode 3. But I could see myself dropping if it gets just not to my liking.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
Episode 2 was close. There was that point where the Jawas and there was parts that I liked, but it just got real slow at some point. And like I said, maybe I was tired. Went back to work this week. Watched 2 hours and 40 minutes of Hamilton. Have 2 crazy kids. Maybe I was just tired. But episode 2 lost a little bit, but it gained it at the end.
All right.
So I'm going to go on. But I could see myself dropping if it gets too boring for
Okay.
me.
I'm trying to think what the next couple episodes are. Because there's one that it's, I think, like, fairly early or maybe halfway through that it's not my favorite one. But I'm hoping it's not, like, one of the next ones.
Is that
for
the
you.
one where they go to Tatooine?
No, nothing in Tatooine is fun. It's all boring.
But I don't hate that one, though.
Okay.
There's
I
one
remember it gets shit on a lot.
Yeah,
But-
there's not a lot happens in it, but I don't hate that one. The one
Yeah.
I'm thinking about is like one where they go to like kind of like that jungle planet and they meet like
Oh.
the tribe of people. For whatever reason that like I'm remembering I don't like
hate
so
that
much.
one. I thought it was kind of fun when they do the whole thing where they try and like trap. I don't know. Well,
Is Jar Jar in it?
Jar Jar's not in it.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, we'll leave it up to you. Figure out. Maybe you can get back to us maybe next week if you journey on any more through the Mandalorian.
I will.
But
I
there-
don't need to finish this before the next
No,
one.
You
right?
don't.
You can go at your own
You
pace.
can just kind of
But
give us yeah.
Okay.
There is an amazing episode that's one of my favorites that has Bill Burr in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he's an assassin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like he
Okay.
kind of teams up with a bunch of other bounty hunters to do like one particular thing, and Bill Burr's one of them.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we see the man from 3 South anymore?
I'm going to have to let you down hard here
Yeah,
and say no.
No.
Well, now I'm pissed.
Brian Posehn from the notorious show 3 South.
The
is
only
no
other thing
longer-
he's ever been in, 3 South, is not. He's not in it.
I love
But
that
everyone,
guy.
check out 3 South. You can probably
Check
find
out-
it somewhere
Probably on
on YouTube. Or maybe Brian Posehn's personal website. He probably has that too.
So I gave this, the first 2 episodes, I gave a B-.
Okay.
It's definitely not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's not, in my opinion, great. It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
It's okay.
All right.
Good.
On the good side of okay.
All right.
See, I know what's coming, and I ended up liking this series quite a bit, and I'm stoked for a season 2. So I'm giving this an A.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm
Yeah.
the same.
They
It's fun.
set up like a big bad at the end of this season,
Yeah.
and it can bleed into season 2.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's,
Okay.
Yep.
it's intriguing.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, I'm interested to carry on.
There you go.
All right, good.
But so now we're jumping back into the trilogies for episode 7.
Dun, 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 dun,
The Force
dun,
Awakens.
That's right.
dun, dun, dun,
Hot Take Havens. I know Return of the Jedi has kind of a clear-cut ending, but what are you looking forward to for the next trilogy?
I have no clue. I have no clue. Like, I'm going into episode 7 not knowing what to expect.
Really?
The Empire is
as you know-
destroyed.
I didn't even know Darth Vader died.
Oh, yeah.
Say what you will on Twitter. I'm not a phony. But I had no idea. I'm not a phony. But
Hey, you phony!
you're a big fat phony. I had no idea. So, I really have no idea what to expect. So I'm going in with a
Very
totally
curious.
clear mind. Yeah, I'm excited because they're brand new.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, that part really intrigues me. That we're jumping to, like, within the last 4 years. When was
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I can't
2015
remember.
maybe?
I'm surprised that so nothing from this past trilogy has like struck your zeitgeist at all, because they were a really big deal when they first came out.
I'm telling you 100% truth. I know nothing about these next 3 movies.
Not
Like-
even any merch that's come out? You like?
Zero.
Okay.
Zero.
Like none of like the new droids or anything.
Before you guys called me onto this podcast, I gave absolute 0 shits about Star Wars.
All right. That's true. Fair enough. Okay.
All I knew was from, like, whatever I picked up along my life. From
Which
hearing
is
things.
very little.
Yeah.
I'm amazed on how little you have just ancillary knowledge of this. That
This is true.
seemed like it should be public knowledge at this point.
Nope.
You do not care anything about whatsoever and did not retain.
Which you guys have flipped me because now I'm a fan.
Good.
All right.
I'm
I
a fan.
feel like we did something good
So-
here.
So for these new movies, what are you hoping to come back, or who are you hoping to come back?
Well, I know you guys have told me they're not, but Jar Jar Binks.
God damn.
It's not.
Um,
let her go. Let her
I
go.
mean, let the poison
Let
out.
her go.
I mean, I'm a little upset that, like, a lot of my favorites are dead.
Yeah.
Jabba's dead. Jar Jar's not coming back.
All the J's.
Hopefully dead.
All the J's. I don't know. I do we, like, is there a Han Solo?
I don't know.
I can give you this. Nine Nub shows up.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to this 9 Nub.
Doesn't Nine Nubs shows
I
up?
think in the last one he does.
Fuck. Yes, maybe he does. Shit.
Yeah.
Only because I know
I
that
have not watched. So I have not watched the last movie
Since
again
the theaters.
since the theaters.
I've rewatched that one recently because Chelsea hasn't seen it. But I haven't seen 7 and 8 in a long time. And now going in with, like, catered expectations. Like,
Yeah.
I know what's coming.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see 7 and 8, actually, again.
Yeah, I watched 8 not that long ago, and I want to say maybe I didn't hate it as much. Oh, no, we'll figure it out. I want to.
I just heard an awesome argument for both 7 and 8
Yeah.
that might flip my opinions on them on a multiple watch.
Wow. So I'm wow.
So
This is gonna
I'll see how it goes.
This might be a fun finale to this Star Warantine.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we'll get into all the history of it, but the last 3 movies are very conflicted with each other.
Okay.
And very divisive in the community.
Very-
More so, I
very
think, than the
divisive.
other ones.
Yeah,
Even
there
the
are.
prequel?
Yeah,
The prequels have mellowed out since
yeah,
the sequel trilogies come out.
yeah.
Like, the newer... So, like, all the newer fans, such as yourself, they don't mind the prequels as much.
Yeah.
They've always existed since they've been alive.
Yeah.
And they're just like...
And I feel like the prequels are something where you can take them or leave them, where everything that's been built beyond those are like, well, I mean, if you wanna include the prequels, you can, but if you don't want to, they're not that important. You can leave them to the side, so
Yeah.
no one really stresses them. But when the new trilogy came out, people are either really, really high on them or really fucking low on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just because the internet is out and is
Yeah,
a thing.
sure.
Yeah.
So, a lot of strong and loud opinions.
Mhm.
So, we'll get into all of them.
So yeah,
as
so
we
I'm
dive
very
in.
curious on your whole take of these newer ones.
I'm excited to watch them because they're new, and I know nothing about them.
Yeah.
They look good.
They
Yeah.
do. That's what I like. They look good. Like
Yeah.
just looking
They-
at them, even on the Disney Plus page,
Yep.
Yeah.
they look new.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's updated CG, all like
Yeah.
like as new as you can possibly make them. And I know you like the Transformers and shit, so
But I also like High Noon.
speaking
my
of that,
God, that's coming up later
Coming off
this
of-
week.
off of a space western to a real western.
My goodness. Well, I think that's gonna do it for The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll check back in to see if you've dipped into more of them
Yeah.
as we continue on with the sequel trilogy
For Star Warantine.
for Star Warantine. JT,
Yeah.
people want to talk their Star Warantine with you. Where could they do so?
Always. You can always find me at Bucky for One on Twitter. Also Bucky for One on Instagram. Bucky on Snapchat. Hot Take Havens.
Well, if you want to yell at me,
Well,
call me a phony,
well.
call me a fake, you can find me at Coach Havens on Twitter.
You can find me at Troy the Max on Twitter as well as at Review Pod as well.
Tweeting is a complicated business.
While there, you can vote for the Tournament of Random Movies, which is still up and going strong.
Rebel Without a Cause versus Die Hard 2.
Die harder.
The motherfucker's never in a plane, even though the entire movie involves a conflict on a plane.
Conflict.
God, Werner could just say anything, and I would just eat it right up.
Werner
He does
Herzog.
cameos.
You could cameo in Sesame Street for all I care. I would watch the shit out of it.
C is for cookie.
If you guys want, you can pay for him to sing me Happy Birthday next year.
Oh my God, is he on that app?
I
where you
don't
can-
know.
Oh my
but
god,
if
you
he
have a
is-
cameo?
Let's see
Happy birthday,
if he.
dear Hot Take Havens.
We need to find out, and if he costs a lot, we need to have a GoFundMe.
I mean, a go
Put on cameo, so we can have this guy sing
a
Happy Birthday.
GoFundMe to get Werner Herzog to sing Happy Birthday to Hot Take Havens.
Oh my god, I'll be 35 next year. Make it happen. Come on.
This is the fucking shit that we've deduced ourselves to.
If we can't get him, we're gonna have to do Gilbert Gottfried. So it's
Oh man.
and I know he's on
The
there.
principal from Problem Child?
All of our episodes are uploaded onto every podcasting platform there is out there. If you want to write into the show, you can do so at reviewpod@gmail.com. Boys, Star Warantine still going hard.
At least 3 more episodes.
At the very least.
At the very
At
least.
least.
That's right.
Before that, for some reason, Hot Take Havens has decided to make us watch High Noon.
inspired choice.
The
I would say.
1952 classic.
I want to know how your brain works, so I can figure out what the fuck you're gonna make us watch for the next 2 weeks.
Stay tuned.
Oh my god, I'm threatened. I feel threatened.
I'm threatened. You're like the guy from Costco on the fucking. I feel threatened.
Yeah.
Did you watch that guy? Some old lady approaches some dude in a Costco not wearing a mask. I'm threatened.
I also saw the guy in Costco who just farted into the intercom.
Now I
was
saw
pretty
that.
That guy's awesome.
Katie immediately dared me to do it. So
Look out for that.
stay tuned. Hot take with the hot
take.
farts.
Hot take Haven's gonna hot fart a fucking intercom at a Costco.
God, that echo is amazing.
He's a boss.
Anyway, the show's broken down. I think the show's over. So for
Oh,
Hot Take
fuck.
Havens, I've been Toward the Max Extreme,
I'm JD3 guy.
and we are off.